This evening, the state of Maharashtra hit 10 lakh plus COVID cases. That is more than most countries in the world in one state alone. And rather than focusing on key priorities like battling the pandemic, helping people get their lives back on track after the economic recession set in, the BMC, which is run by the Shiv Sena, seems to be busy targeting Kangana Ranaut. First, it took down her office by giving the actor just 1 day's notice, and now the Shiv Sena government has announced that it intends to prosecute Kangana Ranaut for apparently consuming drugs. Now, this is based on a 4-year-old interview given by a former boyfriend of the Bollywood star. Now, how the BMC hopes to prove this in the current context, and is this not just linked to Kangana Ranaut attacking Uddhav Thackeray and the Shiv Sena, and is this just not reeking of very, very petty politics? Let's take a look at our lead story tonight.
I'll work from these ruins. My ravaged office is a symbol of a woman's will that dared to rise in this world. Thundering words from Kangana Ranaut, warning that her fight with Uddhav Thackeray and his government is far from over. The Maharashtra government too seems to be in no mood to back down. On camera, the party maintains that the demolition drama has ended for them.
हमारे लिए अब वो शिवसेना का विषय नहीं है, वो बीएमसी का विषय है। आप बोलेंगे अब बीएमसी में शिवसेना की सत्ता है, वहाँ एक लीगल डिपार्टमेंट है। आप उस बारे में आप वहाँ के कमिश्नर, वहाँ के मेयर से बात कर सकते हैं।
On the other hand, it has opened another front against the actor. The Maharashtra government has now asked the Mumbai police to investigate Kangana Ranaut's alleged drug link. An official letter from the Maharashtra government to probe allegations of Kangana using banned substances and narcotics has been sent to the Mumbai police. This based on a 2016 interview of Kangana's former boyfriend and actor Adhyan Suman.
You said that she asked you to take cocaine.
Yeah.
You had hash with her for...
I did 4 or 5 times, yeah.
And she asked you to have cocaine.
Yeah, I said no. I didn't want to do it. Didn't feel...
She took it regularly?
Well, I didn't see her taking cocaine regularly, but I've heard that she did. She did hash regularly.
Maharashtra Home Minister even referred to the interview as he raised the issue of Kangana's alleged drug use in the state assembly. Whether the drug allegations against Kangana will be probed by the anti-narcotics cell of the Mumbai police or a special investigation team is still not known. But whenever the probe is initiated, Kangana Ranaut will be summoned. As Kangana continues her attack against Uddhav Thackeray and the Maharashtra government, her mother too has joined ranks.
तो मैंने भी ये संस्कार दिए हुए हैं कि बेटा जहाँ कहीं भी जाना निडरता से जाना और सच्ची बात और सच्ची बात को उठाना। इससे उद्धव ठाकरे शिवसेना को बहुत तकलीफ हुई है और उसने मेरी बेटी के साथ बहुत अन्याय किया हुआ है। क्योंकि वो एक छोटी सी बेटी के साथ वो इतना अन्याय करते हैं, ये क्या सरकार है? इसको सरकार बोलते हैं। ये बाल ठाकरे की शिवसेना है? नहीं, ये नहीं है बाल ठाकरे की शिवसेना जिसको हम बचपन से सुनते आए हैं।
Demolition, drugs and a sedition case. Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena has come out all guns blazing against Kangana Ranaut. And she too won't shy away from returning fire. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, and this has become a major issue in Maharashtra politics. Kangana Ranaut today reached out to Congress Chief Sonia Gandhi, saying as a woman and as someone who believes in the principles of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, asking Sonia Gandhi why she wasn't standing up for another woman who was being wronged. In the midst of all of this, Sharad Pawar did a U-turn, coming out and saying today that the BMC did no wrong. The BJP is defending Kangana, but only to an extent. They distance themselves from what she said about Mumbai being Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, but they're defending her because her office has been taken down by the BMC, and that's something the BJP says is just demonstrative of how petty the Shiv Sena is. The opposition, of course, charges that Kangana Ranaut is dancing to the BJP's tunes and she'll soon be joining the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's a charge the actor denies.
Controversy's queen Kangana Ranaut is in no mood to relent in her offensive against Uddhav Thackeray. Kangana has now invoked the Sena founder Bal Thackeray to attack Uddhav, saying the firebrand Hindutva leader was her icon. She posted a video of the firebrand leader to claim Uddhav has disowned his own father's ideals. Kangana has also taken on Sena's ally and Congress President Sonia Gandhi. In a tweet, she questioned her silence on the demolition of her office by the BMC. There is now an open divide within the Maharashtra Ghadi government. NCP chief Sharad Pawar, who is unhappy with the entire row, tried to put the onus on BMC, but his own party colleague and minister had an opposite view.
कि कोई स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का इसमें कोई संबंध नहीं, जो कोई क्या रेसिडेंस या कार्यालय पर जो कोई कदम उठाए, ये मुंबई महानगर पालिका ने किया है। कई जगह पर महानगर पालिका ऐसे कदम उठाते हैं, ऐसे कदम हमने उठाए, ऐसा एक्सप्लेनेशन मुंबई महानगर पालिका के तरफ से आया है।
कंगना राणावत के वकील ने भी कोर्ट में अभी तक ये तो नहीं कहा कि जो तोड़ा गया है वो कानूनी था, ये भी नहीं कहा। तो जैसे कि उन्होंने मान लिया। सवाल यही है कि जरा रुकते, कार्रवाई जरा रुक कर होती तो ठीक होता, जरा और ज़्यादा समय उनको दिया जाता परीक्षण के लिए, कोर्ट में जाने के लिए, जैसे दूसरों के दिया जाता है।
With Kangana and Sena at loggerheads, the BJP has come out in support of the actor and questioning the priorities of the Uddhav Thackeray government.
कि महाराष्ट्र सरकार को ऐसा लगता है कि महाराष्ट्र में हमारी लड़ाई कोरोना से नहीं है, हमारी लड़ाई कंगना से है। लेकिन महाराष्ट्र सरकार उससे लड़ना नहीं चाहती, वो लड़ाई करना चाहती है कंगना से। आप क्यों ऐसा बयान देते हो कि उन्होंने मुंबई में आना चाहिए, आप क्यों बयान देते हो उन्होंने ऐसा करना चाहिए, पूरी आपकी सिस्टम क्यों लग जाती है? मुद्दा बड़ा क्यों हुआ? कंगना तो कोई राष्ट्रीय नेता नहीं थी, कंगना तो कोई ऐसा विषय नहीं था कि जो राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर चला जाए, आपने उसको बड़ा किया।
The ongoing controversy has now reached the Maharashtra Raj Bhavan. Union Minister Ramdas Athavale has sought the governor's intervention.
राज्यपालांसोबत माझी जवळजवळ 20-25 मिनिटं चर्चा झाली आणि त्याच्यामध्ये जो कंगनाचा विषय आहे त्या कंगनाच्या विषयाच्या संबंधामध्ये चर्चा मी केलेली आहे आणि त्या ऑफिसमध्ये आतमध्ये जाऊन त्यांनी तोडफोड केलेली आहे। वास्तविक आतमध्ये जाऊन ते फर्निचर आहे ते तोडण्याचा अधिकार पोलिसांना किंवा म्युनिसिपालिटी अधिकाऱ्यांना नाही, पण त्यांनी आपल्या अधिकाराचा गैरवापर केलेला आहे आणि त्यामुळं कंगनाला न्याय मिळाला पाहिजे, कंगनाला कॉम्पेन्सेशन मिळालं पाहिजे।
For now, the Sena-led government seems to be on the back foot, with even its allies Congress and NCP maintaining a distance from the entire controversy. The question remains, has Uddhav Thackeray scored a self-goal by acting against Kangana? Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, at a time when the Shiv Sena is under fire for attacking Kangana Ranaut in an unjustified fashion, Sena goons have been caught on camera attacking an Indian Navy veteran whose great crime seems to have been to put out a cartoon mocking Uddhav Thackeray. Now this so incensed Shiv Sena activists that they went down and attacked Madan Sharma. Now this is caught on camera, as you can see, very brutal. The violence unleashed by the Shiv Sena goons. Our crime correspondent from Mumbai, Devesh, now joins us. Devesh, what can you tell us about the attack? How do we know that the people who are being seen on camera at this moment are Shiv Sena activists, and what is it that Madan Sharma actually put out which angered the Shiv Sena so much?
Rahul, Madan Sharma, a retired Navy veteran, was at his residence in Kandivali, and he received a WhatsApp forward, which was a cartoon of Uddhav Thackeray, which as he received as a forward, and he forwarded it to someone. These 7 to 8 people who are said to be members of the local Shiv Sena Shakha in Kandivali reached his residence and then called him downstairs. Once Madan Sharma came downstairs, these people attacked him, and after which he suffered a red eye. His eyes have suffered grievous injuries. police came to know of the incident, and now an FIR has been registered against Kamlesh Kadam and 7 to 8 other people. Police are yet to arrest those responsible.
With me, I'm joined by Sheila Sharma. She's the daughter of Madan Sharma, the Navy veteran who was attacked by these goons from the Shiv Sena. You know, we're terribly sorry about what happened to your dad. Sheila, can you give us a sense of what the sequence of events was? What is it that your father posted? How do you know that those who were involved in this attack actually belong to the Shiv Sena? Okay, give me a moment. I'll go back to her in just a moment, but I also want to kickstart the Newstrack debate tonight. And joining us on this broadcast, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, we've got lawyer Hitesh Jain squaring off against him. We've got a supporter of the Shiv Sena, G. Radhakrishnan. We've got Meghna Pant, well-known activist and author. Pratibha Prahlad joins us, artist, political activist, and we've got Ashutosh, well-known journalist and political analyst, with us on this broadcast. Now, G. Radhakrishnan, you were on our show the last time we took up the issue of Kangana's office being demolished by the BMC. Now, just look at the kind of detailing that's emerging now. Manish Malhotra, the fashion designer, has a notice that's sent to him which says that you've got 7 days time to respond and to tell us why your illegal structure should not be demolished. At the same time, with roughly the same set of offense, you give 24 hours to Kangana Ranaut. Before those 24 hours are over, the BMC goes and demolishes the office. If this is not petty politics, petty vendetta, then what is, Radhakrishnan?
Yeah, so there is no petty politics. If at all politics is there, it's a BJP politics. BJP, they don't sleep at all. Day and night, BJP leadership, both Central and the Maharashtra BJP discuss on Kangana. How to make use of Kangana to tarnish the image of MVA government in Maharashtra. She is just an actor. She is telling something about Sushant Singh Rajput's death. So how this is made out of proportion? It's blown out of proportion, I would say. Here there are so many deaths. In Swamiji was he committed suicide after the manhandling of the policeman. His name is Saravanan. He hails from a small village in Tamil Nadu. No inquiry, no case, nothing. Being an actor, now this is Sushant Singh case has been blown out of proportion and many characters are coming in. Kangana, she is daring, she is giving direct challenge to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. What is it? See, if her house is demolished or BMC took some action on her house, what she should have done? She has already gone to the court. It's known to everybody. Now court is going to hear it. If injustice is made
one second. But it's not just Radhakrishnan that her office has been demolished. Soon after that, based on a 4-year-old interview given by a former boyfriend after the couple has had a terribly public fallout, you decide that you want to prosecute her for having consumed drugs. Now, if you add these together, and if this doesn't reek of vendetta, then what is it?
Lal Kamalji, her house was partially razed. And this is also the second case related to drugs. So the whole episode is going around narcotics. So this is the Narcotic Bureau has come into the picture just now. The Election Commission was little known to the public before our TMJ station came as commissioner. Now the Narcotics Bureau is known to the public because of Sushant Singh Rajput. So they let them inquire. So why don't the Maharashtra police inquire into a case related to narcotic affair? So people are now they are jumping. Why case against Kangana?
Okay, let Hitesh Jain respond to that. Hitesh Jain, why is the BJP jumping to Kangana Ranaut's defense? What is the connection between Kangana Ranaut and the BJP? And if she's accused of having consumed drugs by her former boyfriend publicly and in an interview, what's the harm if the narcotics division probes that? Hitesh Jain, opening comments.
Rahul, first and foremost, BJP has not jumped to the defense of Kangana Ranaut. And assuming let me take the argument on the face value that BJP has jumped to the defense of Kangana Ranaut. Do they have a right to be vindictive against a person merely because she has taken a view which is not comfortable with the present ruling establishment? Even their own allies, like NCP, Mr. Sharad Pawar has basically put the blame that this is not the decision of the government, this is the decision of the Bombay Municipal Corporation. Second, what they tried to do on 9th September, the Shiv Sena tried to portray.
Sorry for interrupting. He said you are giving more importance.
And now what has happened? Yes. Look at the headlines of Samna on.
No, 1 second. Radhakrishnan, you can't speak over Hitesh Jain. Radhakrishnan's fader stays down. Let Hitesh complete his argument. Go ahead, Hitesh.
So Rahul, on 9th day, Shiv Sena took the position that it is the BMC who has taken the action. On 10th, the editorial of Samna says, Ukhad diya. Kangana said something which is uncomfortable. We do not agree with her views and see how humne ukhad diya. Now, is this the language when you are I can understand when you are in an opposition party or this thing, that is Shiv Sena has always stooped to a new law. They have behaved like this, but at least they behave responsibly now. I mean, when you are in the government, you should learn to tolerate with the unpopular views. And what has happened, look at the order observations of the Bombay High Court on 9th September, scathing, mana fide. And imagine it was a scene from a Hindi movie that a lawyer being called, whether you have received the notice, commissioner being called, everyone's phone gets conveniently switched off so that the demolition action continues. And wait, the drama is not over. If this commissioner will have to vacate his chairs and Shiv Sena is going to land with the egg on the face with the kind of affidavit that they have filed, I mean, they should look at the affidavit very carefully. I don't want to say as of now, but if one looks at the affidavit, they have created a massive blunder. They have made false statement on the oath. And according to me, for the vindictiveness and pettiness, they are going to pay. It is, they have an opportunity. They can correct themselves. They can say we are wrong. We will henceforth not be vindictive. Fine, if you are making some comments, we will deal with the comments separately. But such vindictive action will put the officers in danger.
Ashutosh, has the Shiv Sena messed this up terribly through their vindictive actions, or do you believe that Kangana Ranaut is to blame as well because A, there was illegal construction in her house, B, very little notice was given, and then the manner is that she's constantly provoking Uddhav Thackeray? Is she almost seeking and drawing out a counter, Ashutosh?
Rahul, there are the three things which I want to say. The first of all, I was just listening to Mr. Jain. He was talking about the vindictive politics. I think the other opposition governments and the other opposition political party, they are also learning to be vindictive and also learning to use state power and state machinery, because this is what has been done by the Modi government in the different parts of the country, and how the opposition leaders and how the opposition government have been against them, these agencies has been used. And recently you had seen what happened in Rajasthan when the Ashok Gehlot's brother was raided by enforcement directorate on the same day when the government was to be destabilized. So it looks as if Hitesh Jain is talking about vindictive politics. I have my sympathies with him. Others are also learning, others are mastering the same thing. Second point, I think if you go by the script, I think Kangana Ranaut's script has been extremely brilliant. She has not been able to...
One second. Hitesh, don't turn this into a banana republic. Let Ashutosh complete his argument. I will come back to you for a count. I have the patience to listen to what he's saying. Ashutosh, go ahead.
Look at Kangana Ranaut. What has happened? She has not even contested within the court of law that the construction inside her house was not illegal. She has not contested that. She has got a notice in 2018. Now the question is very simple. Yeah, I can understand that the BMC has been quite vindictive. BMC did what they are not supposed to do, but they did it. The issue is, whole country or the whole BJP is trying to defend Kangana Ranaut for the unauthorized construction. Is it justified in the eyes of law or not? That's it. That's the point number two. The point number three, I think this is a brilliant script by the Kangana Ranaut to enter into the politics. She's using Ram Mandir. She's using Babar. She's using Kashmir. She's using Kashmiri Hindus. And she's using Sonia Gandhi. If the Sonia Gandhi is silent on the issue, Mr. Modi is also silent on the issue. But this is a brilliant launch of Kangana Ranaut as a political activist in this whole episode. And what happened?
I want to bring in Pratibha Prahlad on this, because Ashutosh is saying, look at the phraseology and the manner in which she's constructing her arguments. She's using Pakistan occupied Kashmir, Sonia Sena, Ram Mandir, Babar. Ashutosh's charge is this is a script that's being written by directors and producers in the Bharatiya Janata Party for an actor who's about to begin her political shoot. How do you respond to that, Pratibha Prahlad?
Hi Rahul, thanks for inviting me. I just want to place on record what I have to say. I'm against government high-handedness of any sort at any given time. And we've all known that Shiv Sena for the longest ever time has used thuggish behavior. And now that they're in government, they have to be more responsible, they have to be more responsive, and they have to be more mature. There is no, gainsaying, say that this has become a slugfest between Kangana, an ordinary citizen, a celebrity actor, and the government of Maharashtra. Kangana had her points of view about Mumbai police. She had her points of view about, Sushant Singh Rajput case, but that's okay. Half the country has a point of view on that. It doesn't mean that the Home Minister of Maharashtra should jump up and say Kangana is not welcome in Mumbai, which made her say that has Mumbai become a POK? Now, again, then everyone started shouting and screaming, and this whole, Twitter discourse went to an extremely debased kind of a discourse. It became a debased discourse with people calling each other names. And Kangana said, she got this notice. She said, I'm coming to Mumbai on the 9th of September and I will, address it. But they didn't wait for her. What BMC did is very, very, very premature. And like everybody else has been saying, I too say that no BMC or no municipal authority, no government can overnight go and demolish somebody's house or office, however illegal it may be. There's a process to it. There is a police process to it, there's a municipal process to it, there's a legal process to it. When all the legal, recourse is lost, that is when a demolition happens. It does not happen overnight.
Oh, absolutely, because Meghna Pant, in this case, the contrast is stark, because Manish Malhotra gets 7 days time to respond to a notice on illegal construction. Kangana Ranaut is not even given a full 24 hours. The BMC goes with its bulldozers blazing. Does this not reek of sheer political vendetta, Meghna?
Rahul, I'm always on the side of women, but I'm also firstly on the side of the truth. The fact is that Kangana has started this slugfest. You cannot put your hand in the snake pit and then cry when you get bitten. You cannot start a fire and then cry when you get burned. The fact is that Kangana is a very problematic public figure as of now. She's going to be an extremely problematic political candidate when she does announce it. The fact is that she's clearly propagating the ruling party's manifesto. She has their protection. We can see that. And the worst part about all this, Rahul, is that she's pulling a fast one on the public. She has been playing with the public's sentiments because she's used SSR's death to further her own agenda and to announce her dive into politics. And she's appealing to their voyeuristic sensibilities. Secondly, she's using taxpayers' money, precious taxpayers' money, into Y+ security. Why is that in the first place been afforded to her? So I don't think that she could have used her clout and her platform to save further women, to change the tone, to change the conversation. She started off her film career as such a promising person, as a feminist icon for women like me, and look how far she's falling. Look how transparent her agenda is, how vitriolic her language is, how vicious she's become, how petty she's become. So I'm sorry, in this particular case, I can't side with her. And I've come on your TV and taken up her side on many, many occasions. But this particular case, I just cannot. And if you're going to get into vicious politics, then you cannot not expect a retaliation.
Meghna says that she's taking all of us for a ride. She's setting herself up for a political innings, which is why she's reading off the BJP script. And even if it's not being written by the BJP at this moment, everything she's uttering, from the Sonia Sena to POK to Ram Mandir to Babar, it's all a political attack which has linkages with the worldview that the BJP and its supporters hold. Hitesh Jain.
Rahul, assuming she is a political party member, assuming instead of Kangana there would have been some leader of a political party, and he has a completely different view, does that mean that the corporation act in a vindictive manner? And coming to the point on Kangana and the script, who is running the BMC? Who used the H letter word for Kangana? Who called her naughty? Who said that she cannot enter the city of Mumbai? Who made the prestige issue? Ultimately, if you are saying the script was written by Shiv Sena. If Shiv Sena, and that is what precisely somebody as senior leader like Mr. Pawar has said, that you should learn to ignore the comments. Now, for the Shiv Sena, there are two choices. Either they listen to the advice of Mr. Pawar, or they follow Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, or they follow the ideals of Balasaheb Thackeray, or they follow Sanjay Raut, who's an abuser of women. So ultimately, if you have false egos, if you are going to say my way or highway, and see today what they have done to the army man who was forwarding the post. So it is not just Kangana Ranaut who has suffered. There are close to 30 people who have been arrested in past 3 months for taking a view which is not popular to the government. So even if somebody takes or sympathizes with the view of the BJP, that does not mean that you use a vendetta politics and demolish the house.
Okay, Meghna wants to make a quick counter. Meghna?
Rahul, my very quick point is that, you cannot start vicious politics. You cannot start the slugfest and then keep playing a woman card and keep playing a victim card as it suits you. Kangana cannot have it both ways. She needs to decide that if she's going to be entering petty politics, which she clearly is with the optics that we are seeing, with the way she's attacking everybody around her, you cannot suddenly turn around and cry victim and cry wolf all the time. She's losing her credibility. So that's what I'm saying. She's a problematic candidate. She's a very, very problematic public figure at the moment, and honestly I agree that she should just be ignored.
Pratibha Prahlad, respond to that. Meghna says you put your hand in a snake pit and then you say the snake's bitten you. If you attack Uddhav Thackeray in the manner that Kangana Ranaut has, using the kind of language that she has, you have to expect that there will be a backlash and you have to be prepared to deal with it. Then you can't start playing the woman card. Pratibha.
Rahul, I believe that, one can raise the level of discourse in any situation. Okay, what the Maharashtra government has done, they have played into the hands of Kangana. If someone's saying that Kangana wants to enter politics and therefore she's saying all XYZ things, then there has to be a certain maturity on the part of the Maharashtra government and the BMC and this Sanjay Raut, who, has used terrible language, abusive language against her, which is completely unpardonable. So I don't, condone Maharashtra government or Mumbai police or the BMC for what they have done. Neither do I condone Kangana Ranaut for, for whatever she's been putting out in public domain. But I guess as a woman, as a individual, she's trying to protect herself in the best possible manner she can, and the more public and the more vocal she is, she'll probably garner.
But to counter the argument that Ashutosh was making, that the opposition is learning from the BJP, two wrongs do not make one right, Ashutosh. Let's assume that this is the BJP, that this is the Shiv Sena's defense, that the BJP also does this. How does this make the opposition any better? How does this make the Shiv Sena government any better? Surely you can't justify one wrong by citing another wrong, Ashutosh.
Absolutely. Certainly, in terms of principle, this cannot be justified. But this is politics. And the politics, if opposition has been constantly faced the barrage of the central agencies for the last 6 years, obviously they are also learning the tricks. See, the two quick points which I want to make. I think somebody was talking about Balasaheb Thackeray. I just want to remind them, if Balasaheb Thackeray had been alive, or even the Raj Thackeray has been the chief minister, God forbid, Kangana Ranaut would have been allowed to come to Delhi, to Mumbai. I have known little bit about Balasaheb Thackeray in his politics. I think this is the response which Shiv Sena has given is probably the gentlest response which somebody could imagine. Balasaheb Thackeray politics and the language which has been used against Uddhav Thackeray, I could imagine what could have happened at that if he had been alive. The point number two, I think anybody who is saying that there's no politics involved, is it just a coincidence that Y category security has been given without any threat perception by any committee, just within 10 hours? Is it just a coincidence that the Rajyapal is sending a report? Is Rajyapal sending a report which जब किसी गरीब का झोपड़ा जलता है या टूटता है तो So why Mr. Koshyari has not been sending reports on that issue against the government of Maharashtra? And now think about it. A chief minister suddenly walks up and he says, "मेरी हिमाचल की बेटी के साथ बड़ा न्याय हो रहा है." तो ये coincidence. This is not just a coincidence. A chief minister is coming in a defense. A Rajyapal is coming in a defense.
Hitesh Jain, respond to this. The fact that the governor is intervening in a matter of one office being demolished in all of Mumbai, the fact that the chief minister wants security clearly reflects that Kangana and the BJP are acting in tandem. Is that not the case, Hitesh?
Well, I will respond to that, but I will also respond to Ashutosh's jibe on Balasaheb Thackeray. Had Balasaheb Thackeray would have been there, his stature was so big, he never picked up a fight with the woman. Even if the woman would have accused, he would have respected him and he would have put his blame. So there is a way difference between Balasaheb Thackeray's politics and Uddhav Thackeray's politics. Balasaheb Thackeray used to fight the mighty and Uddhav Thackeray fights the woman. That is a politics of cowardness. That is the first point. And second point, as I mentioned, in last 3 months, what has happened, it is not just Kangana Ranaut. There are 30-40 people who have been arrested for writing or expressing their views. There are people whose phones have been confiscated. There are people who have been slapped with the chapter cases. So this is the kind of vendetta politics. So if people are talking about emergency, if people are talking about vendetta, if people are talking about tolerance, then they should come to this state and see. For example, there was one gentleman, he wrote against the minister. He was taken by the police officers and he was thrashed at the bungalow of the minister. There are false cases that were filed against the people who took unpopular view. And there are people who disagree with your views. You have started demolishing their houses. So this
isn't the first time that the BMC has... Yeah, Ashutosh.
Yeah. Sir Rahul,
Ashutosh
I'm very amused Jain, that he's talking about the freedom of expression. There are n number of cases where anybody who has made even a small comment, whether a film actor or in a film or in a cartoon, what happened to them? Many of them ended in jail. Are the cases landed against them? So I'm really amused.
There is no one who has gone in the jail. Neither we
believe and want to believe the whole world that they believe into the freedom of expression. Thank you so much, Hitesh. This is a new BJP I'm confronting.
Hello. Now, how the BMC has a track record of acting in this fashion. There was a RJ in Mumbai, Malishka. She put out a song taking pot shots at the BMC for the big holes, the big potholes on the roads. She had the BMC pay a visit. You had Kapil Sharma, the TV star, who again had some unsavory words for the BMC. He had action against him. So this seems to be a track record. They don't fight politically. What they come instead and try and do is to misuse the powers that they enjoy as the local civic body. Take a look at this report.
A full-blown demolition drive within 24 hours of being served a notice for illegal construction. That's what happened to Kangana Ranaut's office after her attacks on the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government. And here's more proof that shows that the country's richest civic body, the BMC, often acts like a vindictive political agency. While Kangana Ranaut was given 24 hours to respond to a notice sent to her over alleged illegal construction at her Pali Hill office, fashion designer Manish Malhotra, whose bungalow stands next to Kangana's demolished office, has been served a similar notice. But he's been given a full 7 days to respond. Malhotra has also been issued a show-cause notice for illegal construction. But why then has he been given more time? This is not the only glaring example of vendetta by the BMC.
मुंबई तुला बीएमसी वर भरोसा नाही का मुंबईच्या रस्त्यामध्ये झोल झोल रस्त्यांचे खड्डे कसे खोल खोल खड्ड्यांचा आकार कसा गोल गोल मुंबई तू माया संग गोड बोल.
Radio jockey Malishka was similarly hounded after she released a satirical song on the potholes in Mumbai. In July 2017, Malishka's song went viral for exposing Mumbai's pothole-ridden roads during the monsoon and how the municipal corporation did not pay any attention to them.
मुंबईचा पाऊस कसा ओव्हरफ्लो पावसामध्ये ट्रेन झाली स्लो स्लो ट्रेनचा शेड्यूल कसा झोल झोल मुंबई तू माया संग गोड बोल.
The BMC responded by first inspecting her house for illegal construction and then sending a notice to her mother for allegedly breeding dengue mosquitoes at her house. Similarly, actor-comedian Kapil Sharma was also targeted by the BMC. He was sent a notice for illegal construction at his house after he spoke about corruption in the BMC. The comedian alleged that he had been asked to pay 5 lakh rupees bribe by the civic body officials. The BMC later claimed that Sharma had flouted norms not only in his Versova office building but also at his apartment in suburban Goregaon. The matter was resolved after the High Court's intervention. With the demolition of Kangana's house and a notice to her residential building, the Shiv Sena-controlled BMC has once again exposed itself. And the Maharashtra government too has not been able to come up with a credible defense. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, I was just checking the Corona India dashboard, which tracks the COVID-19 fight in India. At this moment, there are 1,015,681 cases in Maharashtra alone. That's 1 million plus, 10 lakh plus cases. Just today, there were 24,886 cases reported. There have been 14,000 recoveries and 391 deaths. At this moment, the number of active cases in Maharashtra is 2,71,566 with 28,724 deaths. Surely, this is a case of completely mistaken priorities. The Shiv Sena and the BMC need to put the ego on the side and deal with the real challenges that confront Maharashtra. That is and has to be priority number one. I'm slipping into a break and I have more for you when we come back with part B of the Newstrack. Stay with us. We'll shift our attention.